Heavenly Father, in Jehovah, the sovereign words of wisdom, in the keeper of all spirits, I come before you this day. I come before you with my heart bowed low, and I have emptied myself of this past week. And I do not seek the wisdom of men nor the strength of flesh, but the breath of your spirit that descends in the pure morning of dew from heaven. I ask, Father, to overshadow me with your presence. Guide me before as a pillar of fire by night, and as a cloud by day. Guide my lips to govern my thoughts and sanctify my meditation, that my words lift up may be as incense acceptable in your sight. So I ask today, Father, to teach me. Teach me the greater mystery that lies in the art of fighting without fighting, Father. For the weapons of flesh, anger, pride, vengeance, and self-justification are heavy chains that binds the soul, but you have sent Jehovah, called us upon the greater armor, to shield our patience, the helmet of discernment, and the breastplate of stillness that comes only from perfect trust in your will. So I pray, Father, that you cause me to stand not striving, but in surrender. And let me be armed, not with contention, but with your peace. Not with loud speech, but a quiet thunder of your spirit. Even as Jacob was transformed into Israel, not by strength, but through the grasp, but the yielding of your divine purpose. So I ask, Father, to teach me that true victory is never won by fleshly striving, Father. It is won by bowing to you and letting go and clinging only to your name. Make me to see the battles belong not only to my hand, Father, but it's always to yours. Let me lean to fight only by standing still and remembering the salvation is you, Jehovah. So I ask, Father, to grant me, O Father, the meekness that turns away wrath and humility that silences contention, your wisdom that walks softly while carrying the full weight of your authority. Let my lips be governed by your spirit, swift to hear, slow to speak, and slow to anger. And let my tongue be as a fountain of peace, soothing troubled hearts, and guiding and braiding up wounds rather than piercing words of strife. When accusations rise, let me, Father, answer not to be sharp, but steady and quiet, in assurance of your presence and not as adversaries that can withstand. So I ask, Father, to feed me the manna of discernment, the secret counsel that teaches how to draw when wisdom calls for silence, how to yield the soft answer when tempers flare, how to disarm adversaries, not with force, by patience, Father, of the unseen, but with patience and gentleness and endurance. And let the art of fighting without fighting be no mere lessons in your word. I ask, Father, to continue, Father, to guide me in all things. I ask, Father, may every soul that hears be touched, not by my voice, but by your spirit. I ask, Father, that this is not merely a fighting lesson in words, Father, but this is a living testimony of your spirit working in me. Break down every barrier, pride, fear, stubbornness, until only your love, your light, and your truth shines through me as your vessel. So I ask, Father, to draw them near unto you, plant them in hunger to overcome the evil, not by the mirror of fairy, but by the steadfastness standing in good. And may they see that all strength, all peace, all victory flows from you alone, Jehovah. So, Father, as I open my mouth, fill it with wisdom from above. Let counsel, power, and knowledge and reverence be upon me. And each word is fruitful, and each silence carries weight. Cause those to hear recognize that these are not the sayings of man, but the voice of the Spirit that's calling them to maturity, to endurance, and victory and peace. So I pray to you, Father. I pray to you in the ways of Jehovah in all dominion, all glory, and all might that rest in you. I yield myself wholly. I thank you for the privilege, Father, to be used as your vessels, and let your will be done, and your name be magnified, and let your fruit be as a prayer to bear witness to you and you alone forever. So, Father, I pray this in the name of Jehovah, and Jehovah I will always pray, Father. Amen. And shalom, everyone. Shalom. I want to welcome everyone to the house of the Lordship of Israel and also the King James Bible University. And today we reach a point to where we have just finished our first fruits. But before I do, I want to make sure everybody understand one thing. That we at the house of the Lordship of Israel and also with King James Bible University, we do not associate with any organization that identifies as Christian, including even pastors, so-called bishops, seminaries, theological colleges, or rabbinical colleges, or any such like institution that derive their authority from human traditions rather than the pure laws of Moses. So we here, as I stand with my brothers, we stand alone using the Sovereign King James Bible, which also includes the Apocrypha. And mainly with that, rejecting all presumed authority to the books that were removed that belong to Jehovah and not to man. So our allegiance belongs exclusively to Jehovah and to our Father Yahweh, who revealed completely through these 81 books, he has preserved his word, building understanding through precept upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line upon line, here a little, there a little, rather than man theological systems that have corrupted the spiritual truth with denominational interpretations. So many have made themselves even enemies of the house here, even with King James Bible University, believing they can operate even as Lucifer, seeking to exalt themselves above the stars of God, his servants, through false religion authority, knowing the solemn warning even in Hebrews chapter 6, and we can look at it through 4 through 6. And we know that the teaching of any other gospel and rejecting to promote doctrines that involve money, power, fame, rather than the pure instruction from Jehovah's law. These false teachers crucify the sons of God afresh through their corruption, divine revelation, substitution of man's wisdom with spiritual function, that meaning of Jehovah to establish his word, even as while I check. And as I told you, as my profession, I am a master of Hebraeus by profession. Pastor called to teach God's people. So here we stand alone with the elders and the deacons. We stand alone teaching truth that leads his followers of Christ to the knowledge and the application of Jehovah's laws, that the Father, when he comes to where Jehovah can present each and every one of them before the throne without spot or blemish. So our mission here, our ministry here is Jehovah's. We operate exclusively under the authority of the laws of Moses that was given to us back in Exodus, rejecting all theological contaminations that separate seekers from the ancient path of righteousness. So through precept upon precept, methodology, and Hebrew spiritual understanding, we here provide pure instruction that traces every understanding back to its foundation of the first 5 books, calling the scattered sheep of Israel to return to the true worship of Jehovah according to his revealed will. And we see that through the King James Bible, that sovereign Bible that you guys have in your hand today. That's who we are. That's who each every deacon, each and every elder, each and every evangelist here, this is what we stand on. And we let it be known who we are. So I want to thank everybody for being here, but I just want to let you know who we are. And the same as we just come through the first fruits, many things was revealed to us. Many things came to us. Many things came to understanding that we understand. So even today, we will be going through and we'll be starting back with our pretty woman, but then we're also going to have other things. So with our pretty woman, as many people have already seen, we're going to be going through this. We're going to be making sure that each and every person clearly understand what's required of you to get back into this kingdom. What's required of each and every one of us to understand exactly who we are and what we have caused our issue and why we are here in this earth, what our purpose and what we are here to do. What we need to make understand. I need to make sure that each and every one of us clearly understand who we are, what we plan on doing, and as we move forward. And the same we have today, we're still going to be going through as always. We're going to be having the kids, KJBU. Our kids is going to be going through, and we have to put in work. Work that's required of them, training them up for the kingdom, training them up in the way they should go. So when they are old, they will not depart from what we are doing. So after this, we're going to have that. And we're going to have a short meeting. A short meeting that's going to happen. And that short meeting is going to be based on what went on. And I have one sister who is more than welcome to come back there. She knows who she is. We have one sister to come back there because what we want to do, we have some other things that transpired that we we didn't care for. And as I said, we as birds of a feather flocks together. But when we see a bird that's not flying right, they can't associate here. So they know who I'm talking about. She's more than welcome to be here. On one thing, because I just need to make sure some things are clear to make sure that so we fly a different way. We understand things differently. But I want to make sure, since that's going to be part of the conversation, I want to make sure you're present. That's why I want you to come back there. She know who she is. But anytime you come up as part of this conversation, I want to make sure you're right there. And understand exactly where I and the rest of the leaders here stand. Because there's some things that went on that wasn't right. It was some things, even though we had a beautiful time, but it was some things to where we had some unrighteous things going on throughout one person throughout the body. And that we cannot understand what's happening. So we want to make sure that everybody understands who I am and what we are about. So through this, we'll get this understanding. Through that, it might take 10, 15 minutes to do that before we start all our other programs, but that will be addressed. So hopefully that each and every one clearly see what I'm saying, where I'm coming from. But I do have what we want to do get into today. We're looking at the architect, the art of fighting without fighting. Interesting. This interesting thing that we need to understand. So I want to be able to talk plain to a lot of people today. And I need each and every one to understand where I'm coming from. But I'm going to be talking strongly in the Hebrew language. So the main thing is, as I said before, please don't lie. We don't need you to sit there saying eyes and you really don't know. Because I'm going to be talking strongly in it, but I'm going to be giving you understanding as we go forward. But this is where we go, and this is why this separation started happening. This separation is going to get stronger and stronger and stronger because you're going to see a lot of different things that's going to be happening here today. And as we move further into this matrix, we are too deep to go back up. You can't come back up to breathe, but you need to be able to separate this water from actually air. Besides nitrogen from oxygen. So what we want to understand is this. Is clearly understand who we are and what we're doing. Because we are the servants of the Most High. Those who have passed over from living according to the flesh, now living according to the Spirit. So before we can understand the art of fighting without fighting within this very matrix system, we first must establish the fundamental distinction between two opposition spiritual forces that govern all man's existence. And I'm going to tell you what it is. I'm going to give it to you what it's all about. And what we need to know is understand this. You have faith and you have fate. You have faith and you have fate. I want you to clearly understand what I'm talking about. Clearly understand where I'm coming from. Because you have faith, F-A-I-T-H, and you have faith, F-A-T-E. Two different things that's being said and two different things that's being going on that we need to clearly understand. So what I want you to do is understand the difference between the two. Because even when we're looking at the writing of Paul, under this divine inspiration that he revealed this substance to you, this understanding that we need to understand that's going on. Because it's not wishful thinking or this positive mental attitude, but the actual spiritual substance that creates a reality according to Jehovah's will. Now, just to ask you the differences, and just is based on eyes and or ends. Do you understand the difference between faith and faith? Do you understand the differences? That's just an eye or end. Real simple. So I'm going to wait to see where we're going to get here as we continually move forward on what's going on, to get a better understanding of what we need to do. Because we got to understand what faith and faith is. That's what we need to know. Because we're going to go down and you're going to see how we're going to shape this lesson for today on what we need to do on the direction we need to take. But it's a very serious situation on what needs to happen. So as I see, I'm getting more ends and I'm seeing no eyes. So I already know I need to change something around on my lesson to where we can understand what's going on. So I want to ask you, I'm going to write this in here. Actually, I have to now. I have to. There's no choice of the matter. So if everybody can sit there and see, I put in faith. And I'm going to say this again, because I see really only one person really kind of understands. So I have to, I have no choice of the matter. I got to change this. I'm going to put this in because I see it slowing down. So let me, and I'm going to have my moderators. If you can, just put that in there. Just put faith versus fate. Just put that in there for them because they still putting it in. So I have to switch this completely around, completely around, because we can't move further if they don't understand the difference between the two. So I'm asking them. You see, I put it in there. I put faith versus faith. Thank you. I appreciate it, my sister. So we want to understand what this is. Understand how this actually going to go on, because we got to understand the Hebrew side of this. So I just want to wait till they get that in there to where we can really get a grip on what's going on. And I want to show you why it's so important to where once we walk away here today, and I just told my moderators to do this, and my main thing is, if you're not a moderator, and this is talking about Brother Shaw, don't put that in there. We have moderators to do this. So don't do that anymore. My moderators is putting that in there. I don't need you to put that in there. So what we're doing is this. When we look at the Hebrew understanding of faith, F-A-I-T-H, it encompasses this steadfast truth, and it's reliable. Faithfulness that comes from the very foundation which is upon the spiritual reality is built. Faith. So faith is not a passive hope, but it's an active spiritual force that brings invisible kingdoms of Jehovah into visible realms of man's experience. I want to make sure we understand what this is going on. Because when we operate by faith, we become co-laborers. I want you to understand what I'm saying, because it's a beautiful thing on what you're going to understand here. When you operate on faith, you operating on co-laborers. You see it even in the book. You co-laborers with Jehovah. So you co-laborers with the word from the Father. Speaking his will into existence and watching the matrix bends to accommodate the divine process. Beautiful thing. Faith. It transforms us from those who live according to the flesh, who lives according to the Spirit. So it's welding the same creative power that spoke the words into being through the breath even of the Almighty. Let's look at something here. I want to show you something. Let's look at this here. And let's go here. I want to pull this other one up. Let me see here. Okay. We're going to look at this in Genesis 1:26. So where we can start getting a better understanding here. So I'm going to change a few things, but we'll see what's happening. And you see this in Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. I want you to understand, but we're going to be talking a lot of Hebrew language here. And it says, and God said, let us make man, M-A-N, so that's male and female, in our image. It didn't say we're going to become him, but he's going to be in the image. We're going to be a similitude of him. After our likeness, let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the fowl of the air, over all the cattle, over all the earth, over every creeping thing that creeps upon the earth. I want you to clearly understand that. Because we get ready to dig a little bit deeper based on what I received. But I promise you, when we finish, you're going to be well educated on this. Because the stark contrast of a divine order of faith stands the deception. It's a deception of fate. So faith, the contrast of that is deception of fate. I want you to clearly understand what I'm saying here. Because faith is a heathen concept that has infiltrated religious thinking. Those who call themselves by the name of the Messiah, rendering souls powerless before circumstances they believe they are predetermined and immutable. I'm going to show you how this works. I'm going to show you why this is so dangerous. I'm going to show you why this is so dangerous. And they say I'm glitching. I'm trying to sit there and see if this is going to keep doing this. I will switch over to Zoom because it shouldn't be doing this. But if it keep doing it, I will switch it over. And the stream is lagging on the body. Okay, so what I'm going to end up doing, I'm going to end up switching this over. So I have no problem doing that. So I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. Because if it's streamed, I see they really don't want this to go. So I have no problem with this. So what I'm getting ready to do is do one thing. Because the stream should not be lagging whatsoever. So what I'm going to do is this. Give me 1 second. And I'm going to open this up in Zoom. And I'm going to do Zoom in here. And I'm going to push Zoom there. So just give me 1 hot second. Let me sit there and see. Give me 1 hot second. And 1 second. So we're going to start, let me sit there and see. And this one yet. I don't want that one yet. Okay, give me 1 second. And I'm going to create this one here. We'll take care of this occurrence. 1 second. Give me 1 second. You guys get ready to see me. I'm getting ready to switch something in 1 second. So just give me 1 second, 1 minute.
It's the internet because it keeps spinning.
Yeah. I'm finna switch it over to Zoom. So 1 second. 1 second. And that was my wife coming in letting me know. I guess they're working on something out here with the internet. But I'm getting ready to switch something up to make sure that we get this corrected. So what I'm getting ready to do is this. And give me 1 minute. We got this. And I don't know why they want to do this today. I really don't. But that's okay. So we got this one change. I'm getting ready to change something else. So just Stay with me for 1 minute. And I'm trying to get the same image, but I don't see it right now. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use the old image that's there, that you see the other one, but you're gonna see the new one up. And you guys should see the new image up. So what I'm getting ready to do is start switching everything over there to where it's gonna push it there. So just give me 1 second. So I got that. So now all I need to do is switch something. So now, let me do this. I need the string key. And give me 1 second. We got the new one up. And let me do this. Okay. So now I have the new one up. So if you guys go, you'll see the one with the fish there. But you'll see the matrix, the architect, the fighting without fighting. You'll see that there. So what I'm going to do, I'm getting ready to end that one. I'm going to end this one here, and I'm getting ready to go over to the other one. So that's what we're getting ready to do right now. So if I can have everybody, please, go over to the new one. I'm getting ready to end this one. And then I'm going to start that one. So let me end this one here. 1 second. I'm going to end this one here, and I'm going to start the other one. So let me start that one here. Let me end this one. This stream is ended. That one's ended.